everyone. Welcome to Wellness Day, the podcast coming to you every Wednesday here at the Jahangir Wellness Center. My name is Kavas Jahangir. I will be your host. I'm here at the Jahangir Wellness Center studio, and I'm happy to have here today a very special guest, Dr. Ratna. She's been a stalwart wellness doctor for us for many, many years. I say doctor, but she's actually a healer because that's what we believe that we do over here at the Wellness Center. And so we're going to be having a nice chat with her on all things wellness today. Now, wellness means many things to many different people. So we'll see where we go with this. I'm sure you have many, many stories to give us about wellness. But let me start by thanking you for being here and being a stalwart for us for many, many years. Let me start by telling you at least what wellness means to me. And then you can correct me if I'm wrong. Not that there's any wrong answers with wellness, at least. So I look at wellness with 5 sort of aspects or 5 pillars as I look at it. And in no particular order or importance or in priority. So the first is movement. So that is exercise, whatever that means to you, to anyone, whether it's yoga, running, dancing, going to the gym. So any kind of movement is great, wellness. The second is nutrition. What you eat, what you drink. Like, for example, what is your drink right now?
I'm having coffee.
Having a coffee. Good. I love coffee. I'm having a coconut water right now. So that's also, so good nutrition. That's number 2.
It keeps us alert.
Keeps us alert. Exactly. Number 3 is your preventive healthcare that we do here, especially at the Wellness Center with, blood tests, ultrasounds, all the various tests that we do for people. So that's the third aspect of wellness. The fourth is your emotional and mental well-being. So how we do that through yoga or however that is for anyone, any kind of therapy or just personal growth. So emotional and mental well-being. And the fifth one is lifestyle. So how you're sleeping, how you're recovering, your relationships with your family, love. That can also be stressful, but that's a different issue. Your work, your hobbies, you can see people laughing about love.
Yeah. You always laugh about it.
Exactly. So anyway, these 5 things is how I see wellness
it
all aspects.
It's a very, I think you have said it, the main thing in a very simple way. It's holistic approach.
Exactly. So I was going to ask you in light of that, what wellness means to you, given that you've been a part of this journey for many, many years with us and even beyond that. So I thought getting to hear from you about what wellness means would be very insightful.
Yeah, wellness is, for me, it's cherishing every day.
Okay.
Quality health. It's just not the disease-free state.
Right.
When you are not having a disease, that doesn't mean that you are healthy. You are vulnerable for so many things. You are vulnerable for so many health issues, right? So all this, that is what wellness is.
We want people to stay well.
Yeah, stay healthy and cherish it.
Absolutely.
Every day if we are alive, we are opening our eyes. It's a miracle. Many could not have.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have a day, we have to have a quality life, quality health.
Right.
So when you have it, so whatever you have, whatever health you have to cherish it. So this is what wellness is all about.
Okay.
So we try to keep ourselves, and this is what we preach and practice at wellness. That to cherish your health, take care of yourself. So we are making people aware where exactly this is the way we work. Actually, there are primary, secondary, and because it's in one word we can say it's prevention at the tertiary level.
Yeah.
Because our Jahangir Hospital.
Exactly. I keep coming back to our favorite line over here about staying well.
Stay well.
Or not. Don't just get well. Stay well.
Stay well. You have to stay well. So at Jahangir we have a tertiary care center. So that is how at wellness we are practicing prevention at the tertiary level.
Right. And that's something you've been practicing for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So in your experience, what are the most common things that you see? Symptoms of, common ailments, or not ailments is the wrong word to say, but what things that come up in these preventative packages of wellness and things like that. In your many years experience, what are the most common things that you see that comes up?
Commonly related to the health, there are stress related, mainly as if our approach is holistic. Similarly, we can't say that only one particular disease is coming up.
Right.
It is not like that. It is more what over the years, what I have found is
Yeah.
that people have become more aware about the health.
Right.
This is what, because the way they come to you, the way they want to know about it, the way they want to explore how they can take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, which was not earlier, it was not there.
Okay.
Prevention was actually a very, very, very back. Rather, people were not even
Not
aware
thinking about it.
Yeah, it was not at all there. But now, over the years, which what we have found, especially post COVID,
Right.
this
But are you
has-
seeing any particular trends? For example, as you said, people are getting more and more aware about it, which is fantastic and good.
Yeah.
And there are younger people who are coming to do these kind of wellness health checks and things like that. Now, in these younger people, lifestyles are changing. People are getting more busy. They're sitting down for 9, 10 hours a day, things like that. So, are you starting to see a particular trend in younger people who are coming for these health
Yeah.
checks? What
Yes.
What are the kind of
Actually,
things that you
we
see
have
there?
we have so many company people.
Exactly.
So they come for their annual health checks and the pre-employment health checks. So their life schedule, the way of their job, they have the shift duties.
Yeah.
So all these things have really impacted the health. So that is basically vitamin D. If you find
Everyone seems to have this problem
vitamin
now.
D is because of the
Spending
because
out
of the
more
AC
time in the
culture,
sun.
because of the AC culture, and so many a times one of the company, they have their timings are so odd that they are not at all exposed to the sun.
Oh, I see. Because they're all in the night
They
hours
start
and things
at
like that.
6 and they are ending up.
Right.
So all of them are severely vitamin D deficient. So ideally, vitamin D, the sun, which is required. They say that we do not want to take the injections, we do not want to go for the medication.
Okay.
What shall we do? So then, ideally, we have to be exposed to the sun, which is 1 to 3 o'clock sun.
1 to 3 o'clock in
3
the
o'clock.
afternoon.
So within at least 20 minutes, you have to be there. So when I advise them, and that too, 70% of the body parts should be exposed. So
Not more.
So they keep
Not
on
more
looking-
than 70%.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So they keep on looking at how. So then I advise them. So they have actually named me with that. I advise them, okay, weekends you go to Goa, take your tips and just take.
That's a good idea. But will the company allow that?
That's how. So, but that's the way you have to address the youngsters, because
Right.
they are not bothered. Health concern is because at that time, in the age when like 18 to 25 years of age, during that time they are so energetic and they are least bothered about what is
And the
health.
body can recover so
Yeah.
much
So
faster.
they
I
are
wish
not
it was
bothered.
like that for me.
They come for the health check because it is
need
required
to.
for their company thing,
Right.
the formalities. So to convince them, to tell them, why, what it is, how it is going to impact you.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard, so sad to know that many people are developing osteoporosis.
I was just going to ask you, are you starting to see a lot more joint related things,
Yes, yes, yes.
carpet tunnel,
Yeah.
lower back issues, and all these kind of
Lower back
things?
pain. 99% of the clients from the software of the age ranging from 19 to 25 years.
And
have
that's so
developed-
young also.
Yeah, they have developed osteoporosis, which used to come in the age of 70.
Wow.
So now osteoporosis means the bones already started getting thinned, and it's an irreversible process. It cannot be changed.
Okay.
So that
So what
is-
can we do to help that?
help that osteopenia, to catch them when they are into osteopenia, when it started, because it is not one night change.
Right.
It takes over the year to develop osteopenia, which is just the deficiency of calcium. After that, maybe a year or so, if they have still not taken care of, then it turns into osteoporosis.
Okay.
So, but if we get them in when they are developing vitamin D deficiency only, because that is the major cause for developing osteopenias and osteoporosis during this age this age group. So that we just advise them from there. That's why I said, in a funny way, I asked them, go to Goa.
Yeah.
Please get
No, but I
vitamin
mean,
D.
it's good advice. The seafood is good. They get their omega 3.
Yes, actually, they can get all the vitamin D from there. But I think we should make it official to the companies also. Advise if they give them the weekend.
You should also go with them.
No, Saturdays are very heavy at wellness. The maximum clients we get at wellness.
But yeah, I'm sure you've had many clients over the years. Can you tell us any funny stories that have come up without, of course, naming anyone or any medical issues that way?
No, there are so many, and earlier we used to write, because the way the patients, the young patient, when they come, so they note everything. because they have always their Google on.
Hmm.
And whatever we are doing,
Which is also very dangerous now,
very
actually.
much. They come
Dr.
with all
Google
the things.
is-
They come with all the things. Okay, I'm having this. So I always
Yeah.
tell it has the treatment also. So better to take the treatment as well from that. So
From Dr. Google.
talk to doctor. So they come like that. So one of the girl, she had come at that time. I'm talking about like maybe around 7-8 years back, when so we were not putting the histories on the system. We used to put it later. We had a case history sheet. So in that, whenever there is something while I examine a patient,
Okay.
so when there is no abnormality detected, to that I used to write in the short form
Okay.
NAD.
NAD.
NAD. And she got so annoyed because she read it. It was for her colleague who had come along with her.
Right.
And in the nervous system examination, I wrote NAD.
Achha.
She said, "You wrote in the nervous system." He's mad.
Oh, he's mad. Okay.
She read the NAD as MAD.
Oh, she read as MAD. Okay,
Yes.
fine.
So she's like, "Madam, you wrote with him that he's mad." I said, "No, he's not mad. Please don't try to, do not do the things which, that's my language, what I'm writing. Do not jump into it."
To
So that's
interpret it.
how they started learning that it's a Hindi proverb, jiska kaam usi ko.
Oh, yeah.
It is something like that. So there are so many funny incidences.
I can imagine. But interesting that you're talking about this writing thing, because the next question I was actually going to ask you ties into that, is related to things that we started doing over here now, is this smart testing and gene testing and things like that.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I found that really fascinating and is really helpful for,
Yes, it is
for people
really
to
very-
now
it is
understand
really
that. It's
very
actually,
helpful.
it ties into what you were saying about, people who come with Google and things like that, and they know what's happening.
Yes.
But these smart reports are really so personalized that it
Yes.
actually gives that person a lot more perspective about what they're reading versus earlier where they just see a medical term, like you said, and they can't really follow what's going on. But now it's become far more personalized and far more relatable.
Yes.
As
The
from
smart
the reports that I've
are-
seen.
They have really done a good thing because
What is a
this
smart report? Just for example.
smart report is what all your parameters are, what all the result comes.
Yeah.
So in that result, if they even tell you that if your levels are low, what will happen? If your levels
Okay.
are high,
Huh.
what will happen? So in their own language, so they can read it out what exactly. Earlier it was only whatever
Just the number is, and
Huh.
whether you're
Number,
high or low.
and then you have to search for a doctor to tell.
Huh.
So now it does not tell you the diagnosis, but it helps you to know that there is something of concern which you have to ask your doctor.
Okay.
So the smart report, when they come, they have the confusions. So when they are, the good thing is that we have a post consultation also.
Right. This is what you do
Yes,
with
this
everyone,
is what-
right? Yeah.
So once they come for the post consultation along with the smart reports, so what all confusions they have, they are much focused on them rather than Googling
Yeah.
the things because they have their own reports in front of them. So that is more helpful for us also to be more precise towards the patient only. It's not because Google is a vast thing. Whatever.
And
it is
without
on the Google,
context, people won't be understanding
they
the
will
right
not
thing.
understand. And the studies which have been put in Google, they have taken a particular group of people on those studies are being done. So with that, they have come with the inference. Over here, with the smart report, it is a kind of Google has searched you only.
Exactly. It's a personalized report.
It's a personalized report. So that's how they come. So that is very much helpful for
Good.
both.
Yeah, because I found those very helpful that
in
we're
both
starting
ways
to do
itself.
now.
Yeah,
Good.
it's both.
And now the other thing that we've also started doing here is that we have things that are related to not only the preventive healthcare, the one aspect of what I was talking about, but things like all these other therapies that encompass wellness in its whole, like art therapy that we do over here, music therapy. Have you found that to be helpful when people are coming here and applying that
Yes.
as part of their wellness?
Yes. For example, I'll tell you Zentangle.
Okay.
So I'll just tell a small case history. Recently,
What is Zentangle?
Zentangle is basically a therapy where it improves the cognitive function.
It's an art therapy.
It's an art therapy. In this therapy, the therapist asks the client is given a tile,
Right.
a white hard paper,
Piece of paper.
paper is there, and there is a particular pencils are there.
Right.
So then, with that, as the therapist is guiding them, they draw some pattern. So it is not at all a drawing.
Not doodling.
No.
Yeah.
It's not at all a drawing. So you have to just as the therapist is saying, they keep on just making those patterns. So this actually improves the cognitive functioning, more of the focus, concentration.
Yeah.
So that helps the person to prioritize things, and also the anxiety, the restlessness. All those things are being controlled. This we have tested. It was said that Zentangle therapy
Right.
works very good for the hypertension to
Bring down hypertension.
to bring down.
Even if you're a bad artist, even if you
Yeah.
can't. So
Yes,
if
yes,
someone like me,
I'm a very pathetic
because
artist.
I can't even draw stick figures. So
Even I was very, very, very bad at drawing.
so you don't need to be
Despite
good
it-
at drawing for this.
No, not at all.
Good.
Not at all. Not at all. It is just you need to come with a pencil, and whatever the therapist is saying, you just keep on drawing that like that.
So even the therapist doesn't have to be good. As an artist, not as a therapist.
They need to be the therapist. That's it.
Okay.
Because the pattern which comes out, it already is beautiful. It makes you feel that I can draw so well, and that is actually a kind of
Right.
encouragement.
So you found that these kind of things that we
It helps.
have over here now is actually started
Yes.
helping people, because you can do it here also.
Yeah. Recently, a case had come.
Okay.
So a lady, 54-year-old, and she was very, very much anxious, especially the white collar hypertension she had.
Don't worry about them. That's okay.
No, he's peeping me from that side. Understand. So this white collar hypertension, the moment we ask her, now we have to check your BP, and she's like, da, 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 da,
Or
da,
getting
da.
nervous because you're asking
Yeah,
for it.
and the blood pressure used to shoot up 220 to 170. It was like that. I was so much troubled what to do with this lady. I sent her to the medicine department. They started her on antihypertensive medication. But a person to have a high blood pressure, exclude a person that the person is not having a white collar, they are really having a high blood pressure. So the changes occur in the 2D echo, which is the scan of the heart.
Yeah.
So in that we see the changes.
Right.
But her 2D echo is normal. So that means
she was-
only while checking the blood pressure, her blood pressure was
Okay.
going
So
up.
anxiety related, perhaps.
So there was only one way. They said that, okay, well, what we can do is we have to put Holter. Holter means 24 hours monitoring her blood
heart
pressure.
and
She
blood
is
pressure.
so scared to just
So,
put
yeah.
the cuff. So then we started her on medication, and we started her on the antihypertensives, which acts on the parasympathetic system
Right.
to cool her down. I also started her on some anxiolytics so that we can just control her pressure, this white collar thing. She was started on at least three groups of antihypertensives. Along with that, one anxiolytic, but it didn't work.
Okay.
The moment she entered, and
It came.
the
Okay.
BP is all up. And we also started her with Bach flower therapy, which
Okay.
really helped her.
But she also did Zentangle, you're saying.
So then, even with Bach flower, the results were not coming the way we wanted,
Okay.
because it's a very sure case of white collar hypertension. The moment she sees the BP cuff, the doctor. and-
Same thing with me for needles. So, yeah.
Okay, we will have to. You have done Zentangle?
I have to do it properly.
So do it.
I should.
Yeah.
I know the therapist well, so it's okay.
A therapist is coming. The therapist is not in the town for a month. She'll be coming in October. We are going to have an introductory class. You can join.
I'll do that. 100%.
Started from the, because in the middle you cannot. You just can't come one day and do.
Or if the therapist gives me anxiety.
Oh. Now what we
Okay, that's a different issue.
we will have a conversation with the therapist. First, you
Okay.
can come to for the counseling with her. She's a very good counselor.
Okay.
So you can just meet her.
Anyway, then I have a final.
Yeah. So then what have happened? Ultimately, so we have asked her to come for the therapy. At the time, she knew that this therapy is again being done for my blood pressure. So for that also, she has to come to the hospital. And then she was standing there outside, and she said, "Ma'am, I'll not come. I'm having fever, I'll not come."
Acha.
I said, "I've already enrolled you. You come inside. You do one class. If you don't feel good, let it be. We are not going to force you to do the entire thing." She came. Before that, her BP was, with all the medication, her BP slightly came down to 140, 100, something like that.
Okay.
When she did
Zentangle.
the class, her BP came to be 110 by 70.
That's absolutely bang on standard.
This is what Zentangle does for.
And that's exactly what
Yes. So
we're
this
saying, that wellness is everything. It's not
Yes.
just the medicine, as you said.
is not the medicine.
In fact, the medicine didn't work.
medicine wasn't working because it was a case of white collar
Absolutely.
hypertension. So this is how the holistic approach is, as I told.
Absolutely.
So we, as you have said that you have divided it in all the
Yeah.
5 areas.
Yeah.
So this is how even our approach is categorized.
Oh, fantastic.
Our approach is primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary healthcare is where we include where the person is asymptomatic, no symptoms at all.
Yeah.
They come for the health check. So those clients, to them we provide the prevention part, which is most important, is the vaccination.
Okay.
Advising them what
Right, yeah,
vaccination can help them.
That's also a big aspect.
Depend upon their gender and their age, what are essential. Because even post-COVID, there is so much of myth and fear regarding the vaccinations. Because COVID vaccination came
Yeah,
out,
absolutely.
people have completely, actually COVID vaccination is being blamed because it is the something which is authorized thing for the prevention of COVID. But during the COVID era, people have done so many treatments, kadha, and all those medications which all they could find.
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So those things are putting ill effects on the patients, which are being
Yeah, we can. This
blamed-
I'm sure we can talk about for
Yeah.
hours, but
Yeah.
it's a
So
it's
this
a
is
completely
how
open box.
it is.
But yeah,
So we work on for those making them aware about that all the vaccines are not like that, and vaccinations are essential.
Absolutely.
They will help you, and prevention also to the as I told you, prevention at the tertiary level. That's what we work here. So we also have this gene package.
That's what we were talking about earlier. The gene testing.
Gene
for the
testing is
particular
there.
person, yeah.
So where we can identify the what person is, what the client is vulnerable to,
The high
at
risk.
what age, what are the high risk factors for.
And I
that
think
person.
when also it will happen in their life potentially.
Yeah.
That's
The
quite-
age. That is why at this age they are prone to this. At this age they are vulnerable for
Yeah.
this. So that we can prevent those things, right? So this is at the primary level where there is no symptoms at all. Then the secondary level where again we have A and B category. In A category, the secondary prevention is for the early diagnosis and the management. So secondary, are those clients who do not have visible symptoms, but through their reports, we find that they have
Something
underlying which needs to be dealt with, which needs to be prevented, or which is either it is progressive or at what stage. So at that stage, we make the proper referrals and the prevention measures, whatever we can do.
Okay.
So that is again the prevention at the secondary level. Then there are in secondary level, the B category is the people who already have disease.
Okay.
Like who have diabetes,
pre-existing
blood
thing
pressure.
or something.
So they are already under the treatments.
Right.
So at that in that we advised to manage at what stage they are, again to give them a quality life, quality health with the medication.
Right.
Because if a person is taking a diabetes medicine, and if they are not taking the medicine, and then after that they are not eating properly, the sugar will fall.
So double whammy.
So that will be they will go into hypoglycemia.
Right.
So all those things, that if you are taking this medication, at what time you should take, how you should go on,
Right,
and
right,
along
right.
with that, there are lifestyle things which are odd in you, which needs to be dealt with. As I'm telling, diabetes is just an example,
yeah.
because major cases we get. So how to deal with that, and then stress-related diabetes, which is nowadays very common. For that, we have all our elite therapies, which keeps on working, because Bach flower and Zentangle, as I already said, yoga, physiotherapy, and also in physiotherapy we have one more therapy which is not at all in our country. It is not very much practiced. It's NCI.
In fact, yeah, we're going to be
Yes.
talking about that with
Dr. Radhika.
with Dr. Radhika at one
Radhika,
point. So
yes.
that will be very
It really
insightful.
helps. It really helps. So we have those therapies also with us.
Very good.
So this is how we help the patient.
Very insightful.
Then third is the tertiary level, where client visitor, they need the rehabilitations times. The example is we have patients with alcohol dependence. So we also have a Dr. KJ Singh sir.
Yeah.
So he takes care of that part. And we have the patients with renal transplant.
That's where we start getting more into the treatment side
Yeah.
of things.
So this
Yeah.
is
Right,
how,
but this is how the progression
we
is.
function.
Fantastic.
Prevention at all the levels.
Absolutely.
Providing quality health. Despite of you have diabetes, that doesn't mean that your life is all gone.
Yeah, yeah,
There are
absolutely.
no other things remaining for you. No.
No, we
Even
can
with that, you can enjoy.
have
you
a very
can
good life.
cherish, You can have a good health, and how to take all those measures
Is what we do.
This is what.
So let me ask you a final question then, based on that, on all these insightful things that you told everyone about. What is the strongest thing that you would recommend people to do, or the biggest things that you'd want people to do to maintain this kind of happy lifestyle that you were talking about?
Come to Jahangir Wellness.
Come to Jahangir Wellness. That's a good answer. But when they come here, what would you tell them?
When they come here, they meet us, all of us.
Uh-huh.
So we all are Jahangirians, typically with one standing on one page, and we tell them about the what he'll check or what
Absolutely,
needs they, depending upon their complaints, their needs.
No, but you're right, because actually what we really want to do is we really don't want them to be coming to the hospital. We want them to stay well.
No, wellness is not a hospital.
Exactly, and that is
It's
what
a healing place, and it's just a joyful place. People come, they enjoy here, they cherish. They if you see our Google reviews, they enjoy our food, they enjoy our company.
They enjoy the coffee.
They enjoy.
How was the coffee?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah?
It's our hospital's coffee. It's our
Good.
Jahangir's wellness coffee. Also, we can have this coffee with Karan, or we can have
You can have the coffee with Kavi.
Coffee with cows.
But thank you very much, Dr. Ratna, for being here. It was a very, very enjoyable chat with you. And you've been, as I said, a stalwart for many, many years as leading wellness for us. We look forward to seeing you for many, many more leading on that front. So thank you very much.